In this video, I want to share with you how I stopped the crazy madness of binging food and alcohol and what ultimately worked for me to stop completely. I spent a lot of years trapped in this cycle and really struggled with my relationship with food and alcohol, and honestly, with myself, which I didn't know at the time was really the root cause of it all. It was my relationship with myself. And during that time, I also battled depression along with it. I literally tried antidepressants, diet pills, different diets, etc., but you just can't truly fix it from the outside. Ultimately, it has to come from the inside. But I'm so glad to say that I have been free from this for a long, long time. And if you will invest some time on healing yourself by doing these things that I'm going to share with you, the effort will be so worth it. Then you too can be completely free. And I want that for you so much. By the way, if you think you are an alcoholic or have any other addiction, this might not be for you. I would suggest that you seek help from a professional. I'm not claiming that I can cure any type of addiction. I'm just sharing what worked for me with binge eating and binge drinking. Hi, I'm Amy Moss, your host, your new BFF, and your free holistic life coach. Welcome to the real life where I share all the things that help you become radiant, elevated, aligned, and liberated. So let's get into it. There are three main things that you will need to put your focus on to heal for good. I use the word heal because if your body, mind, and spirit were already in homeostasis, you wouldn't be binging on food and or alcohol and continue to do that to yourself over and over. And for me, it was like literal torture. Every day, I put myself through it and I just couldn't figure out how to stop. I had to figure out how to heal. It was truly like a mindfuck for me every single day, like an obsession of the mind. And they like to call it that in AA. And I get it because I literally thought about what I was going to eat and drink constantly. And I think anytime that you are abusing food or alcohol or both, it is an obsession of the mind, but also a lack of self-love. It's low self-esteem. And that's really the root cause of it all. So the three things that I did were, one, create a complete paradigm shift around myself and my relationship with food. You literally have to change the way you see yourself and the way you see food. Two, I learned how to take control of my brain and stop the abusive, negative thoughts. And three, I invested time on my spiritual growth, which really healed me. That was the thing, my relationship with myself. It truly helped me love myself so much that it gave me authentic self-love and self-esteem. So let's talk about the first one, the paradigm shift. A paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And most of our behavior is habitual. So what you want to do is break the habits that are not working for you. There's so many that aren't working in our favor. And then we can create new habits that do. You have to change the habitual behavior. And the only way to make those changes stick is to completely change your paradigms or the programs or beliefs that are like running in the background at all times. To create a paradigm shift, you have to get a very clear vision of who you want to be. And I'm assuming that you want to be someone who is healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, right? You have to change your self-image by creating a brand new paradigm. And then once you change the paradigm of who you are, you can then change those habits. Once you change those habits for good, you'll create a new healthy habit for you and for the new healthy you. So start by writing it all down. Writing it down is very important. What does a physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually healthy you look like? What would you eat and drink if you wanted a healthier version of you? What would someone who really loved themselves and their body eat and drink every day? I want you to get very, very clear about the details and create your life by design, not by default. Done with that shit. You want to learn how to live a lit life, as I call it in my coaching. And lit stands for living with intention and thriving. We want to create a new paradigm where we're literally living with intention and thriving, not living life by default where we are just surviving, but with intention and thriving. Write it down in a journal as though it already exists in the present tense. Then your brain will start to create an image, and then you will start to build a vision in your mind. The imagination can build a beautiful image, and if you think of that image repetitively or repeatedly, it will stick, and this becomes a daily practice. Once you start shifting your perception towards the version of you that you want to become, you then begin to act as if you already are that person. You elevate and vibrate to the image of the new you. Create a new plan for your life that fits the new image of the new you. Then you begin to eat what a healthy person would eat. You start moving your body by daily walking or finding some form of exercise you enjoy. And you also seriously consider becoming sober curious, where even though you might not be an alcoholic, you choose to be sober anyway. I want you to start treating your body the very best that you can. Be very, very picky about what you allow to go into your body, because every bite or sip you put in your body is either working for you or against you, and you can't change that fact. You want to break the addiction that you have to the cheap dopamine that the shitty food and alcohol are giving you, and then you learn to get dopamine naturally from fresh foods, moving your body, accomplishing your goals, etc. Start eating lots of fresh food. Crowd out the bad food with the good food. Eat lots of fruits, vegetables, leafy greens. Start drinking green juices and smoothies. When you begin to flood your body with nutrients, you'll stop craving the dopamine that the shitty food and the alcohol give you, because when you are not getting sufficient nutrients in your diet, your brain will keep triggering you to eat because it is missing something. And the only way that it knows to get it is to keep triggering you to eat something else, hoping that it's going to get that missing nutrient. But then when you eat nutrient devoid, shitty food again, your body is still missing what it needs to function properly and then to feel healthy. So it triggers you to eat again. So then you see that it becomes a vicious cycle that never stops until you make better choices. After you create this paradigm shift around who the new you is, and you begin to act as if you already are that healthy person, then you have to have a paradigm shift around food as well. So let's say your old food paradigm says that food is for pleasure and can be used to cope with emotions or stress or boredom, or that food is for entertainment. That's one that we all think about, like when we get together for holidays or whatever, or that it's okay to eat mindlessly without awareness and just grab food that's convenient. Your new paradigm around food says that food is sacred. It's a spiritual tool for nourishment and energy. What you eat impacts not only your physical body, but it also impacts your spiritual and emotional well-being. Food is designed for energy and nourishment to our bodies so that they will function to the best of their abilities, period. Food is not designed to be your entertainment. It's not designed to be your best friend or to satisfy your cheap dopamine addiction. So it makes sense, if you can have a paradigm shift around food, you can then experience optimum health naturally without any of the struggle and resistance. And then the old way of binging on food or alcohol or trying to cope with filling a void externally no longer works. The more you mentally create struggle around this, the harder it will be. So don't focus on any of this being a struggle, because it is not. It is what you decide it is. And it gets to be easy because you decide it's easy. We create our own reality, right? So in this new paradigm, you are in control of it, and it no longer is in control of you. You are healthy and you make healthy choices, period. Let's move to number 2. Learn to take control of your brain. Eckhart Tolle says, all problems are illusions of the mind, which is so true. And once you learn how to control your thoughts, which in turn controls your emotions, you will be able to control the way you choose to eat and drink. And notice I said the way you choose, because I want you to realize that it is a choice, even when sometimes it feels like it is not. Your primitive brain wants you to do what feels good and what keeps you the most comfortable, which is usually eating shitty food or drinking alcohol. It is wired to want that dopamine, which you can get from sugar, flour, processed food, or what I call shitty food. The more you eat those foods, the more you are dulling your dopamine receptors, and the more you will desire it, trying to get that dopamine fix. It creates this horrible cycle of eat or drink, or like I used to do, which was both eat and drink. Then you beat yourself up, you have depression, then you do it all over again. Then your obsessive thinking about that starts swirling around, causing negative emotions, negative thoughts. And just once you understand that you can't have an emotion without a thought, then you'll know that in order to control your emotions, you have to control your thoughts or your brain. But if you're really going through something that is causing you to be overly emotional, then you just have to be able to feel those feelings. Don't stuff them down with food. Don't try to drown them out with alcohol. Allow yourself to feel. You can't heal what you won't feel, so just feel it and get through it. The only way to the other side is through. Also, be hyper aware of your thoughts and know that you can't have a feeling without a thought. So once you change your thoughts, like really get in there and change your thoughts, you can be in total control of your feelings and also in control of how you choose to eat and drink. Let your PFC, your prefrontal cortex, be in charge. It is the part of the brain that controls impulses, decision making, and it regulates behavior and emotions. It likes to make a plan and stick to it. The primitive brain is the toddler who doesn't care about making responsible decisions. It wants what it wants and it doesn't care about the consequences. So don't listen to it. It's the trickster. And one more thing I want to share about the brain when it comes to hunger is there is a huge difference between physiological hunger and psychological hunger. True hunger is physiological. We have this innate mechanism that will tell us with a growl, or if it's been some hours since you've eaten, you'll start to feel empty, but your body will let you know when it's hungry. Psychological hunger is when we think we are hungry, but we are not. And lots of times we will just eat because we think we are hungry, but we have not really let enough time go by to actually feel the hunger. So you have to tap into your body and know the difference of what's psychological, what's physiological. The psychological hunger is just our primitive brain trying to trick us for that dopamine fix. So knowing the difference between the two can be a game changer for you, for sure. Number 3, invest in your spiritual growth. This fosters self-love and healthy self-esteem probably more than anything, in my opinion. Carolyn Myss, whom I love and have followed for many, many years, says that low self-esteem is a spiritual crisis, and I completely agree. You are not here to justify your existence. It's justified because you exist. You do not have to prove your worthiness. You are worthy because you exist. You are here on this planet to experience joy, to have fun, and to live in this amazing stream of wellness. Give all of your attention to that because we know where attention goes, or where focus goes, attention flows. So spend 10 minutes a day meditating. This is probably one of the most important things you can do for your spiritual growth. All you have to do really is just sit and breathe and honor yourself. It's that easy. Journaling is also super important too. Earlier, I said to write down who you want to be and what you want your life to look like. Write that every day until you have zero resistance to it and it has no other choice but to be that way for you. Journaling also is a really great way to process thoughts and emotions, or just free writing. I love to just sit and free write for like 10 or 15 minutes, and doing that every day can be so beneficial for processing. Write some positive affirmations over and over every day, like, I am worthy and I deserve to be happy and healthy. Or, I love myself so much and taking care of my body feels so good. Or, I love feeling good. Or, like when I eat healthy food, I feel very good and energized. Just keep free writing all the positive things that you can think of, the thoughts, whatever, and just keep affirming in that direction. Because the more we are aligned with our higher self, the less we want to harm our body over eating shitty food or abusing alcohol. Like, you just won't want to do that anymore. As my connection with my higher self evolved and I began to love myself more, I did start making better food choices little by little, and I drank less and less alcohol. Now I barely even drink at all, and I eat really clean, and I feel so much better. I really just focused on my spiritual growth, learned how to accept myself for who I am, and I just kept working on my relationship with myself. And over time, my struggle with food really just started to disappear. You can create more love for yourself and your body just by shifting your food choices. And you just keep in mind that the further away you get from nature in your food choices, the sicker your body will be. How your body looks and feels is a big part of your vibration, because we're all vibrational beings. It's like your vibration is manifesting in physical form. So if you want your body to look and feel differently or better, you have to work on your vibration by getting into alignment with what you want and stop giving any energy or focus to what you do not want. We're done with that, right? So if you're constantly saying terrible things to yourself about yourself, you'll never get there like that. You just have to have that whole mind shift, that paradigm shift about how you talk to yourself and how you see yourself. It works so much better to have a paradigm shift and to learn to take control of your brain and to put in the spiritual work to love yourself more. Because the more you love yourself, the less abuse you will take, even from yourself. If you got any value from this video, I would love if you would like and share and subscribe. And I would love for us to build a community of like-minded, holistic people where we can share ideas and be teachers and students of each other. So give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.